el exec, el Belé, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to episode 160 of the Exec Talk Podcast. I am your host, Alvarez Wasan. All right. So first of all, let me apologize about the last episode. It was late. I was clearly exhausted. Lost my train of thoughts countless times. So I'm gonna work on doing it earlier for you guys. Keep having my energy up. So you live and you learn, and I know that wasn't one of my best episodes, but got through it, had to put it out there, had to talk about Formula One and everything that happened. And now we're a little bit earlier. It's 6:53 right now, so I'm wide awake. And, it's not going to be a long episode this time. Since college is not playing this week. Playoffs start next week, Friday, December 20th. Also, no Formula One to speak about because the season's over. The thing that we do have to speak about is, and then no more baseball deals besides Garret Crochet getting dealt from White Sox, getting traded to the Red Sox. So he goes from White Sox to Red Sox. All he has to do is change the color of his socks. That's just a little joke right there. Probably was, but let me just give myself a laugh. Just cuss. Do I think that makes the Red Sox a contender? They lost Tyler O'Neill, so no. So just having Rafi, Duran, we're still believing in Casas, still believing in Trevor. I believe in Trevor and Story, but he got hurt last year again pretty bad. Rafaela and all the young kids, and then, Cutter Crawford, Bayo. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I think that it will increase their wins, but I don't think it'll get them really anywhere. I really think that in that AL East, they are one of the weaker teams, I want to say. Because if you look at just the Yankees, I mean, it's not close. I mean, the Yankees added, when you add a guy like Max Fried to Garrett Cole, and Rodon, Hill, and Schmidt, that's legit. That's legit. Now they need a bat. They need a bat to not replace Juan Soto. Let's not get crazy here. That's not going to happen. But to at least offset the loss in some way, so it's not a complete 100-0 type of loss, even though it's still pretty significant. And I would honestly go after, and I think they are really trying to get somebody like Kyle Tucker or an Alex Bregman in there. That would be ideal for them. If not, if they can go get a Teoscar Hernandez, even though he's going to be 38, but he just won a championship and he was a big part of it, big playoff championship player. They just need a bopper there. Not somebody that strikes out a lot either. That's why I think a Bregman or a Kyle Tucker would be definitely in the running, and they are. Maybe a Christian Walker, although I think Christian does want to stay with Arizona. He believes that they can win a championship, and they have a roster to do it if they're healthy, with MVP candidate in Ketel Marte, and also a probable MVP candidate this year coming off a so-so season being Corbin Carroll after winning a Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. They probably need a little bit more pitching, even though they got Zach Allen and Merrill. They need one more piece. If I was them, I would really try to go after Corbin Burns, but they're not a type of team to spend money like that. That's why Christian Walker's potentially, as good of a player as he is, like potentially on the block. But I don't think that this moves the needle for the Red Sox at all, and I still see the Yankees as the better team, in my opinion. All right, so that's for baseball. That was the big news about baseball. Of course, we got Willy Adames going to the Giants. We talked about that and how big of an impact he's going to have. The Brewers need to find, probably it's going to be Jackson Chourio to step into that spot. I would think that Jackson will start hitting 30 to 40 home run seasons. I think the power's there. Still stealing bases, still playing incredible defense. I think you don't come off of being the number 2 prospect in baseball behind behind Jackson Holiday, have a season like he had, which was historic, and not get immensely better in your year 21 season, year 22. So I think that they have a lot of potential for sure. Like to really make an impact, even though they lost Willy Adames, they still have William Contreras. You still have Terang. So I think that overall their team is still good. They're going to lose Corbin Burns. Now, who would go after Corbin Burns right now? I would think that the Braves would want to plug that Max Fried void with a guy like Corbin Burns. You want to match that type of production, that type of level of elite, with somebody. But at the same time, can you go get him? Can you go get a Corbin Burns? Because the Dodgers they were interested until they got Blake Snell. The Padres are interested. I believe it was the Padres that were interested. If I'm not mistaken, maybe the Yankees are still interested in maybe him, which would be crazy because then that would either put Rodon. I think they want Hill to get better, but they might send him not down, but maybe not start him as much, even though he had a great year. And Clark Schmidt's pretty good, but you bring in Corbin Burns, he goes right behind. It's between Max Fried and him, and then Garrett Cole, being the number 1 still, Okay, so news just came down. This is really a tangent right here, but I got to say it because news just came down from Ian Rappaport. Hollywood Brown spent today in Colorado meeting with his surgeon. All positive as the Chiefs wide receiver got the news that everybody was waiting for. He will get to play before the regular season ends. This is huge. This is huge because I'm not going to be hyperbolic because they still have a problem at left tackle unless DJ Humphries is fully healthy and can play, and I think he can definitely help him. But now as a defense, you're not just dealing with, all I have to deal with is a rookie wide receiver that can't get in touch with Mahomes yet, or aging DeAndre Hopkins who can't go deep, aging Travis Kelce, and some other pieces like Watson and stuff like that. On top of Pacheco already being back and is only going to get better as the season goes on because he has fresh legs off that fibula. Now you have a legit deep threat. So it's either going to open up stuff for Hollywood Brown or it's going to open up stuff for Xavier Worthy. If any of those things happen, we all know what they're going to play against Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy if they start popping off. Right now, they're playing a lot of man-to-man. It's not a lot of cover 2 because they are playing cover 2 for Xavier Worthy, but they haven't hit that big one yet. But imagine this. Imagine it's second and 3 at the 50-yard line, and you think they're running, but Hollywood Brown is out there. And let's say that you got Kelsey at tight end. You have D-Hop by himself on the right side. And then you have Xavier Worthy on the outside and Hollywood Brown as your slot receiver. So that means that if you're playing cover 2, Hollywood Brown has probably a 5-yard head start, 10-yard head start, free release, or what they call a two-way go. And you're probably not pressing Xavier Worthy. So as a defense, if you don't have the proper coverage, as in like the wittiness to be like, oh, they have speed on one side of the field, shade speed, you would rather get hit with a 15-yard in-cut by D-Hop that's not going to kill you. Yes, you give up the first down, you give up some yardage, but it's not a 50-yard bomb where then Mahomes start getting confidence and swagger, and then the game's over, because it's going to happen again. Because once Andy Reid, this is the thing. Once Hollywood Brown's on the field, there's a whole other playbook that is going to get unlocked that has not been unlocked since Tyreek Hill was there. And why you say, oh, but Velez, but like they had Xavier Worthy and they still haven't unlocked that. Yeah, but he's a rookie. Hollywood Brown is a Pro Bowl receiver, that knows what it's like to be a number one. Knows how to get open, create separation, is fast, 4.4, 4.3 speed. You know what I'm saying? Good hands. So it's going to be a good dichotomy to see if, let's say if Pacheco has 85 yards rushing, beginning of the third quarter, 2nd and 5 from the plus 45-yard line, and you think, oh, we got to stack the box. It's 2nd and 5. They're going to run it with Pacheco, and they run play action on your ass. They run play action on you, and they run flood. But the flood is different because they're going to put, knowing Andy Reid, I would think that he runs the flood with speed on both sides. So let's say he has Xavier Worthy running the go, and on the other side, he has Hollywood Brown running the over. Okay, well, that puts in a bind your safety, your linebackers, and your corner that's covering Xavier Worthy. Because if Xavier Worthy burns him, that ball's going up. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, Patrick is going to find that sweet spot with him. But let's say the corner can keep up with Hollywood Brown. With Worthy, I don't think that over route, I don't think that safety can get to it. And even if he does, it's at least a 15 to 20-yard gain. And that's without yak with Hollywood Brown could give you. So I think it just unlocks a different area of the playbook that Andy Reid has been dying to unlock since they got Hollywood Brown, and probably unlocked it in practice before he got hurt in the first preseason game. And now he's going to be able to really let it go. If this is what happens, you're about to see a completely different Chiefs team. But we have to see that first game, how he eases them in to the offense. Unless the training camp was so good that he just hops back into the offense and it's all systems go. And now you got D-Hop, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown with Pacheco in the backfield and a GOAT throwing the ball with the best 3 offensive linemen in the interior. A bad left tackle, but it doesn't matter if you got a bad left tackle if the guy's breaking off the line and he's and all he has to do is take 2 steps and he has 5 yards of separation. So, just something to, as NFL fans, just something to look forward to. You guys been saying, oh, this is such a malign and such a defensive team and everything. It's like, yeah, because they were waiting to get the big dog back. Why do I call him the big dog? Because that was their free agent signing. That was their golden goose to bring back the explosiveness. Okay? If they catch you playing man to man, be careful, because you cannot double Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. Because if you double them and you shade both of your safeties to speed, you have one-on-one with D-Hop, which is one of the best one-on-one receivers in NFL history, and then you have a guy who doesn't even run routes right because he's a quarterback in his head, and he's going to be open in any zone you put him in against any linebacker. Okay? And the nickel's too small for him. Okay? So, I think that news is really big for the Kansas City Chiefs and really adds a wrinkle, or maybe a big wrinkle, to their Super Bowl chances. People thinking that this offense couldn't, they just get it done scraping by. But now, if you add an explosive element to that offense, them points are going to be put up on the board. Because there's only two options for you. Either you play coverage and you run the risk of having Creeve Humphrey, Trey Smith, and what's the other guard's name? Joe Tooney destroy you inside and have Pacheco running all over you. Or you put 7 in the box, you take your chances on the outside, and try to stop Pacheco, even though he's not really stoppable, because those 3 guys inside are still going to get it done. So I think it throws a big wrench into what defensive coordinators have been doing the whole year against KC. But we'll see when he gets on the field. All right. Bill Belichick to University of North Carolina, hiring Michael Lombardi, his former GM at the Patriots. We're talking about guys that combined, these guys have 11, let me repeat that, 11 Super Bowl championships. 11 Lombardis between the two of them. Okay? People are saying, oh, it's not going to work. The college game is different. What do you mean it's not going to work? You know why Bill did this? Bill did this because he saw Dion do it. Granted, his father also coached at UNC when he was little. So this also has a family ties and a full circle moment type of thing, which is what he said in the press conference today. But for you guys that think like, oh, college game is different, he's not going to be able to recruit and everything, are you serious? Every parent that he meets, every single parent that he meets, yes, he's talking about 18, 19-year-olds to bring them in. But every parent that he meets is going to tell their kid, hey, this is the greatest NFL football coach ever. Period. Okay? This is the guy who coached Tom Brady, who built the Patriots dynasty. Okay? Every kid is going to be, every parent's going to be like, if you want to make it to the NFL, you go to him. And that's what he said. He said, I'm going to make this a football NFL factory. Now, if that leads to championships, if that leads to CFP playoff appearances, so be it. But he's putting talent into the NFL, and he's going to pull some good talent, because Michael Lombardi is one of the best GMs to ever pick up a pen and put a blazer on. Okay? These guys know how to evaluate talent at a very high level, and boy, do they know how to develop it. Remember, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. Julian Edelman was undrafted. Gronkowski came into the league hurt from his back, thinking that he would never really get to that level again. Hall of Famer, and most likely, in my opinion, should be a Hall of Famer just because of what he did in the playoffs. That being Edelman. But to think that he's not going to be successful, I think is asinine. In the ACC, I could understand if it was the SEC, where he had to compete with maybe Georgia or Texas or Bama. I could understand the Big Ten if he had to go against Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. But this is the ACC. Cam Ward is leaving. Klubnik is Clemson's going to be Clemson, but like it's wide open. SMU won it this year. Or Clemson won it this year, but SMU was the best team this year in the ACC. So, I don't think it's a far-fetched idea to even say that maybe next year he has them in the college football playoff. Maybe next year they're already ranked, and having success. Because there's no better football mind than Bill Belichick. He's also a general manager. He was the general manager for the Patriots when Michael left. So, you're talking about over 50 plus years of NFL experience, 11 Super Bowls between them, some of the greatest players being coached or acquired by them. Michael Lombardi was there with the 49ers, with Jerry, with Joe, with Steve Young, Dwight Clark, you know what I'm saying? Those legendary teams. He was there with the Raiders when Al Davis was there, and then the Patriots. So, I think that he's going to be successful. That's just my opinion. It's Bill Belichick. All right. Since there's no college and there's no college this week, I don't believe. I don't even think I don't think the bowls start this week either, to be honest. Yeah, it's just college basketball, and the college basketball hasn't really gotten there yet. Okay, so Saturday there's Navy. Okay, Navy, Army. Army's going to win. Army has the better team. Their quarterback is really good. So I'm going to go Army there in the Army-Navy game, the midshipmen versus, I believe it's the Knights. Is it the Knights? It's the midshipmen. Guys, if it's not the Knights, I am very sorry. I am looking for it right now, and it just says Army, 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 Army. Literally, just Army, Army, Army. It doesn't say no name, just Army. Do they even have a mascot? Probably just a guy saluting. But yeah, I'm gonna take Army there. Even though Navy's 8-3, but I'm gonna take Army. It's gonna be a run game fest. Okay, the Bulls start. Oh, they start Saturday, but I mean the best game is probably the best game. Yeah, I mean Tulane, Florida next Friday. Yeah, there's not really like games until next week, so we'll talk about that next week. Let's talk about NFL. Let's talk about the NFL this week. Rams 49ers. I'm torn about this game. I'm really torn about this game because of Trent Williams. That is the only piece that I'm really like, does that change my opinion on the game? Not, Trent Williams not being there. It's in Santa Clara. They're giving the 49ers a 60.8 chance to win. I mean, yes, their defense is really good. Like, really good. I mean, it was better last week, but that was against a bad team in the Bears. So you got no Rock Yassin, no Trent Williams, no Malik Mustafa, one of the best safeties in the league this year as a rookie. No Josh Dobbs and no Khalil Davis. You have no Cody Schrader, no Dylan McMahon, no Warren McClendon Jr., the offensive tackle. This is for the Rams. Brendan Jackson, the linebacker, and Kobe Durant, the corner. Guys, I'm really torn about this, but I think I'm still going with my gut, and my gut is still telling me 49ers for the simple fact that if I look at these two defenses, and especially the secondary, you have Hall of Famers on both sides catching the football. You got George Kittle. You have the likes of Debo. You have Jawan Jennings. Not that he's a Hall of Famer, but Kittle for sure. Against no Kobe Durant, so it's going to be a backup corner. And then I believe is number one. And then Quentin Lake. It might be Quentin Lake out there. I like that D-line. I like Braden Fisk. I like Jared Verse. I just think they're too young. I love the way Stafford's been playing. They've won 2 in a row. They're on a roll, but they're in Santa Clara where the 49ers need to win to keep their playoff hopes ever much more alive than they would otherwise if they lost, because they're already last in the division. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. And boy, it's a tough one. We're talking about a 3-point spread for the 49ers, basically the hometown discount. The only thing I'm scared of picking the 49ers is that they don't stop Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp. I think they can stop Kyron Williams because they have a very, very good front and great linebackers, and Dre Greenlaw's coming back from the Achilles. But Puka's going nuts so the last 3 games. And, of course, Cooper Kupp, that goes without saying, that's a Hall of Famer. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. But it's iffy, man. It's very touch and go. I'm going to bet this game just because, it's football, but I'm going to go Niners. Very tough game, though. We're starting really, really hard already. Let me put this NFL Week 15 predictions. We're going to start with the 49ers. All right, next game. Okay. Ravens-Giants, we're going Ravens there. We're not even – that's a blowout. That's an MVP type game for both Derek and Lamar. There's no shot there in hell. That's a 16-point spread. That's a lot. Jaguars-Jets. Boy, Jaguars-Jets. Yeah, we're going with the Jets here just off the fact that they looked good last week against the Dolphins. And the Jaguars won against Tennessee last week, but I just don't trust Mac Jones. I don't trust that running game. Let me see if Breece Hall's playing because he did not play last week. Okay, Breece is playing. Hassan Reddick is playing. Elijah Vera Tucker, the guard, is playing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go Jets. If they lose this game to the Jaguars, it's been over, but they are a 3.5-point favorite on the road. But I'm going to go Jets for sure. Cowboys, Panthers. You see, this is a little interesting. Cowboys, Panthers. This is a little interesting because the Carolina Panthers been playing pretty well the last 3-4 weeks. Now, it hasn't led to wins, because they face good opponents, the Eagles, the Chiefs. But I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Panthers at home against the Cowboys. I don't know. Carolina's getting 3 points at home, hometown discount, but they're 3-10. But I like the way Bryce has been playing. He's shown me that Alabama Bryce. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers there. I think they can get a win against the Cowboys. Now Micah's playing. Overshown is hurt. He's done. I think he's really done. I think he's done for the year. So that hurts for sure. But I think I like the Panthers. For sure. J.C. Horn's playing. Raheem Blackshear's back at running back. DJ Wanham, the linebacker's back. Josie Jewell's back. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Commanders, Saints, I'm going with Commanders. 7.5 point spread on the road. I think it's just part of Jaden Daniels feeling like himself again. After the shoulder injury, he played through it, but I think the week before, where he showed like the offense was working, Brian Robinson ran well. I think against this Saints defense that's okay. I think the Commanders can win this game for sure. So I'm going to pick the Commanders. 7.5 point spread is a bit much, especially on the road at the Superdome. But I'm still going to pick the Commanders. Probably not to cover the spread. Although, let me see if is Derek Carr hurt again? He's questionable. Derek Carr. Oh, but he's playing. Questionable, but he's playing. Yeah, I'm going Commanders though. Too many hurt wide receivers for the Saints. All right, Bengals Titans. We're going Bengals here. I expect a big day from Jamar Chase. Big day from T. Higgins. Trey Hendrickson might have a couple of sacks. I expect over maybe 350 yards from Joe Burrow. And this is going to be a blowout. It's a 5.5 point spread. I think it's going to be a massacre in Tennessee. I just think the Bengals can feel that they still have a shot. Maybe if they win out, they have something to play for. I think that the Bengals are going to come out with a vengeance and just try to take their heads off. It's a 5.5 to Cincinnati, which is pretty good. On the road in Tennessee, I'm going to go with the Bengals. Chiefs, Brown, we're going Chiefs here. I do not expect Jameis Winston to be able to do a lot against this defense. I got to see if Hollywood Brown is actually playing. No, his return is slated for next week. Okay. Harrison Buckner's back, though. DJ Humphries will play, so that's good. Okay, and then on the other side, David Njoku will play. Okay, Cedric Tillman will play. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs on the road. Chiefs has a 58.8 chance to win in the matchup predictor. It's a 4.5 point spread towards the Chiefs. Yeah, I think the Chiefs win that one for sure. Then we go Dolphins Texans. Big game here. This could end the Dolphins' quest to get to the playoffs. It's in Houston. Coming off the bye, Texans looking to really make a push for a higher seed, although it's kind of tough right now because people don't have 5 losses. They're the 4th seed. They're kind of just stuck in it right now. But the way Tua's been playing, Tyreek had a big game last game, but I think that this Houston defense is really good. Fatukasi's coming back. Danico Autry's coming back. Jamil Hill's coming back. Yeah, I think you got Waddle. He's playing. Raheem Mostert playing. Kendall Lamb. Ingold is going to play. Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston, though. I just think that at home, coming off the bye, they're healthy. It's a 3-point spread for Texans, so the hometown discount. Everything to play for to win the division. I'm going to go with the Texans there. And as a Dolphins fan, I think that this is the end of our quest to try to make it to the playoffs again because we have such a thin margin of error, for error, excuse me. Colts, Broncos, I'm going with the Broncos here. I just believe in what Sean Payton's doing, what Bo Nix is doing, Cortland Sutton. I just think that he's going to play better than Anthony Richardson. That defense is absolutely incredible. If we look at the injury report, we got Braden Smith is doubtful, so that already throws a wrench into things for the Colts having to deal with Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper. The centers, Ryan Kelly's out. Bortolini's coming back. Riley Moss is coming back. Brandon Jones is coming back. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Denver right here. They want to go up in seeding in the AFC playoffs, so a playoff race for that wild card and keep their wild card spot. So I got the Broncos in Mile High winning that. Cardinals Patriots. This is a trap game for the Cardinals, but I think they're gonna win. Might be a trap game for the Cardinals, but I think they win. It's in Arizona, so it's at home. The Patriots, I mean, they're getting a 6-point spread. I think that's a little too much for Arizona, just because of the way they've been playing, although they played some good teams, but just the way they've been playing. But they need to keep up. They need to win to keep up in that NFC West. So I got the Cardinals beating the Patriots. Bills-Lions, best game of the week, America's game of the week on Fox on CBS on 425. So actually, it's not America's game of the week. Which one is America's game of the week? Oh, Steelers-Eagles. That's America's game of the week. This should be America's game of the week. Bills-Lions. Okay, so let's break this down. Josh Allen's coming off a losing effort where he accounted for 6 touchdowns, one of the only players in NFL history to do that. In a losing effort. The injury report is DeMar Hamlin's playing, Taylor Rapp is playing, Rasul Douglas is playing. So their secondary is back to being fully healthy. You have DJ Reader coming back for the Lions. That means they can stop the run. You have Ozarike coming back. Aleem McNeil is coming. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Lions, and I'm going to tell you why. I think the Lions can run way better than the Bills can run on the Lions, especially with Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader back. Okay, they just plug up the middle. Buffalo loves to run inside. They like outside zone, but against the linebackers in the secondary for the Lions. And if I'm picking a quarterback to be accurate and not make mistakes, I'm picking the Lions. It's at Detroit. It's at Ford Field. These two teams are at the top of the top. I mean, you got to talk about 10-3 and 12-1. AFC versus NFC. This is for bragging rights, essentially, and for Buffalo to try to keep up with the Chiefs and the Steelers at the top of the AFC ladder. But I got Detroit here. It's a 2.5-point spread, as it should be. I think it's going to be a close game, probably down to the wire. And either a field goal wins it or a last-minute drive to take the lead. Could go to overtime. But I think it's going to be a great game, one of the best games of the year. I got the Lions against the Bills at home. Okay, so we have Buccaneers, Chargers, a really good game. A really good game. Really intriguing. Baker versus Herbert. Harbaugh versus Todd Bowles. Man. Right now, the predictor is for the Chargers. Is Lab McConkey going to play? We got Mike Evans playing. Sterling Shepard's going to play. Bucky Irvin's going to play. Mike Edwards is coming back at safety. Lab McConkey's playing. Justin Herbert's going to play. Darius Davis is playing. Okay. It's in SoFi. They're giving the Chargers a 3-point spread. The only thing I worry about is the Chargers have no running game, and they're not going to have any in this game because of Vita Vea. For Tampa, what I worry about is that Chargers defense is really good, especially against the pass. So I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the Chargers and Herbert. But I believe Tampa can actually win this game because they have the defense enough to hold the Chargers down. But I'm going to go with the Chargers at home, especially since they're chasing to stay in that wild card spot in the AFC. But Tampa Bay has to win too. They're leading the NFC South, and they don't want to give up a game to Atlanta after they beat them after they got the lead in the division last week. So it's going to be a great game. But I think the Chargers got this one by the slimmest of margins. Then we have America's Game of the Week on Fox, 425. Eagles-Steelers. I'm going Eagles. Listen, until the Steelers show me they can stop Saquon Barkley, and I'm not talking about just running. I'm talking about screens. I'm talking about angle routes. Like, on pass patterns, they're giving 60.5% chance for the Eagles to win. It's in Philly. Steelers haven't won in Philly in a long time. Pickens is playing. Deshaun Elliott's going to play. Larry Njoku's going to play. Reed Blankenship will play. Sidney Brown. Oh, Sidney Brown coming back. He'll play. No Dallas Goedert. That might be a little something there. But I think that the Eagles have just too much on offense against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that, against good teams, they really don't score touchdowns. They like settling for field goals with Chris Boswell. That's why he's the leading points getter in this year. Point scorer, excuse me. I think Pittsburgh is going to try to maybe take out Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. If they try to do that, Saquon is going to be the main issue. And if they try to stack the box against Saquon, I think that A.J. Brown for sure can get over on their corners, whichever one he goes against. And Devontae Smith is no slouch either. He's also a legit number one. So I think the Eagles got this. On their defensive side, the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't running shit against this defense. There's no way they're getting through Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith Jr., Bryce Huff. There is no way in hell they're running the ball against this team. They have really good, their secondary is really good. You got Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. You still got CJ GJ playing like an all-pro back there in the safety spot. Reed Blankenship. Yeah, I don't see, and Nakobe Dean as the signal caller. I do not see the Pittsburgh Steelers being able to score touchdowns. They might be able to drive the ball, but they're not going to be able to get into the end zone enough to beat this Philly team, in my opinion. I am going with the Eagles. Okay? And that will set the stage as the Eagles and the Lions really at the top, at the cream of the crop of everybody in the NFL. Besides, the Chiefs are in their own league because they've proven it 2 years in a row. So, and then you got a giant NFC North, NFC North versus NFC West battle. Packers Seahawks. Packers trying to keep up with the Vikings and the Lions at 9-4 to keep their wild card spot. Seahawks trying to win the division in the NFC West and also try to move up in the standings as well. Green Bay on the road is getting 2.5 points at the 12th man on Sunday night. They're giving the Packers 62.5% chance to win. That is insane. Javon Bullard's going to play. Evan Williams will play. Edrin Cooper, the rookie linebacker, will play. Isaiah McDuffie, the linebacker, will play. No Luke Musgrave. Brady Russell, Jarek Reed the second, the safety, will play. Michael Dixon, the punter, is playing. Kenneth Walker is playing, so it won't be Charbonnet. It would be Kenneth Walker, the superstar running back. Man, this is a tough decision here. If I have to go by quarterback, I like Jordan Love. If I have to go by personnel on the defensive side, I like the Seahawks, especially in that secondary. But overall, I like the Packers more. They seem to be the better team on the field overall this season. So I'm going to go with the Packers on the road at the 12th man against Geno Smith, Mike McDonald, and the Seahawks. And I'm a Seahawks fan as well, and I believe the Packers just have enough on every single side, including Josh Jacobs, which I believe will be the difference to win this game. Then we have Monday, Bears-Vikings. I think that is an absolute massacre. Vikings are going to destroy them. Look for Addison to have a big game. If they try to stop JJ is going to be open. And then of course you got still TJ Hawkinson. That defense is still playing lights out. Brian Flores is gonna throw so much at Caleb. And I just believe that they're just a better team overall. They're 11-2. They have to keep up with the Lions in that division. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings there. We have a doubleheader on Monday actually, and then the last Monday night game is a toilet bowl. Falcons-Raiders. Falcons are going to win this game, obviously, coming off of 3 straight losses. If they don't win this game, it is curtains for Kirk Cousins. I don't know if we'll see Michael Penix if it goes bad in the first half. Brock Bowers will probably have a big game, but other than that, I don't see the Raiders doing much. The injury report, the Falcons are getting a 4.5 on the road in Las Vegas. I see Bijan having a good game. Zach Harrison's going to play. Troy Anderson's going to play. Darnell Mooney will play. Casey Washington will play. Jacoby Myers will play. Aiden O'Connell's going to play. Sam Webb is going to play. Max Crosby's playing. And Adam Butler's playing for the Raiders. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons here. Just too much on offense, too much power, too much firepower, whether it's running or passing. I think Kirk gets back on track, and the Falcons get an easy win here against the Las Vegas Raiders. The standings as they sit right now in the division, Buffalo won. Miami's the only one in it because the Jets and New England's out. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Cleveland's already out. Houston, Indiana. Jacksonville and Tennessee are already eliminated. You got Philly, Washington, Dallas. The Giants are out already. Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago somehow at 4-9 still, I guess mathematically have some type of chance to come back, but that's not going to happen. Once they lose this week, I think they're out at 4-10. Detroit already clinched the division. No, Detroit hasn't clinched the division. You got Kansas City, LA, Chargers, and Denver. Denver and LA both 8-5. KC already got the division, just like Buffalo. In the NFC, nobody's clinched divisions yet. When you go to the NFC South, everybody's still in it somehow. Carolina is even still in at 3-10. Tampa Bay's at 7-6. You have Atlanta at 6-7. New Orleans at 5-8. And then in the NFC West, you have Seattle at 8-5. Rams at 7-6. If they win today, they're right up there with the amount of wins. They just have one more loss. Arizona is 6-7, and San Francisco, if they win, are 7-7, go into third place in the division, or second place in the division because they will have over the Rams. In the conferences, as they stand right now, it's KC, Buffalo 1-2, Pittsburgh, Houston, Baltimore, Chargers, Denver. That would be your playoffs right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Indiana's out. Miami would be out. Cincinnati would be out. In the NFC, you have Detroit already clinched a playoff spot, just like KC and Buffalo. Philly just clinched a playoff spot. Then you have Minnesota, Green Bay, Seattle, Washington, and Tampa Bay. That is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that would be your playoff teams if it ended right now, with the Rams outside looking in, tied with Tampa Bay at 7-6, 6-7 Atlanta, 6-7 Arizona, 6-7 San Francisco. And then everybody else, I don't think they'll make it there, but Yeah, that's what the standings are looking like. The stats, Joe Burrow's has 3.706, even though I went over the stats the last couple of days. Saquon Barkley has a chance to keep adding and try to get closer to Eric Dickerson. Jamar Chase is the first guy since Randy Moss to have 18 touchdowns in a season. He's trying. I'm guessing he's going to try to go after that record of 23 touchdowns in a season, and he has a chance to get it with 3 games left. It's him and Jefferson 1-2 in receiving. Then you got CeeDee Lamb, Judy, and Bowers. Zaire Franklin got the most tackles. Budda Baker's second at safety, which is crazy. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson leading over Myles Garrett and Nick Bonito in sacks, and then Xavier McKinney and Kirby Joseph leading Byron Murphy and Marlon Humphrey in picks, both with 7 respectively. The team stats, which we didn't go over, the total yards, 422.5 a game. Baltimore, then comes Detroit at 394, so basically 395 a game. Surprisingly, Tampa Bay, probably because of Bucky and his success, basically 379 a game. 49ers, interesting, 379, and Commanders at 378 a game. Passing, Bengals, no surprise, 271, 272 a game. Atlanta, 250 a game. Seattle, 249. Detroit, 244. And Baltimore, 243. Rushing, no surprises. Number 1, number 2, Eagles, Ravens, 191 for the Eagles, 179 for the Ravens. Washington Commanders, 157. Detroit, no surprise, 151. Green Bay, 145. Defensive leaders, you got yards per game. Phillies at 284. Titans are 292. 49ers at 299. The Jets are at 307. And the Texans are at 309 yards allowed. Sacks, Denver has 47. Houston has 42. Baltimore has 41. Vikings have 40. Chargers have 39. Turnovers, Buffalo Bills with 17. Pittsburgh with 17. Chargers with 11. Chicago with 11. Chicago with 10. And Houston with 10. That is your team stats. All right. Lastly, let's go to the NBA. The bracket for the NBA Cup, they started 2 days ago. Bucks beat the Magic 114-109. Great game from both Giannis and Damian Lillard. The box score looked like this. Jalen Suggs got 32 points for the Magic. Everybody else did nothing. They don't have Wagner or Paolo, so it's understandable. As for the Milwaukee got 37 from Giannis. Damian Lillard got 28 with 9 assists. Just had a really good game. 22 from Bobby Portis. Really good game at home. Then you got the Hawks versus the Knicks. It was in New York, and Hawks pull the upset out 108-100 in New York. Trey does it again to the Knicks. Jalen Johnson goes for 21 and 15 rebounds. Insane. Then you have Trae Young going 22 and 11. Capella dropped 11. DeAndre Hunter off the bench. He dropped 24, 4 of 5 from 3. The Knicks went 19 from Bridges. Anunoby dropped 13. Towns dropped 19. Brunson dropped 14. Josh Hart dropped 21. Their bench gave them nothing. So it's understandable that they lost. They got out-rebounded, which is something that happens seldom. But Capella and Okongwu were on it, and so, of course, was Jalen Johnson. In the West, you had Thunder Mavericks in OKC, and, of course, SGA had to show out. OKC wins 118-104. For the Dallas, they got 17 from Kyrie, 16 and 11 from Doncic. Just nobody was hitting. You got 19 from Clay, 19 from Najee Marshall off the bench, and not much else. As for OKC, you got 18 from Jalen Williams. Hardenstein gave you 10. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 39 and 8 and 5. Lou Dort dropped 11. Kayson Wallace dropped 11. You had 9 from Kenrich Williams. And Isaiah Joe dropped 9 as well. Alex Caruso gave him 6. Very well-rounded effort. Shot 40% from 3 as a team, even though Dallas shot better. Actually, no. Yeah, Dallas shot better, but their superstars clearly did not show up. So moving on. And then lastly, we had Rockets-Warriors. Ended crazy. Warriors should have won. Crazy loose ball with like around 10 seconds left. So GP2, Gary Payton II, grabs the ball. He's on the floor. Feels like he's going to get tied up. Tries to pass the ball over to, I believe it was Curry that he saw. Ball rolled. Jalen Green jumped on it. And then with 3.5, this is while the clock is running out in the fourth quarter as the Warriors were winning 90-89. It was a very defensive game. A lot of missing of shots, especially early on. And then they called the foul on Draymond trying to get the ball with 3.5 seconds left. Jalen Green hits the 2 free throws. They get a shot off, but Pajensky can't hit it. And the game's over. Rockets move on. Really unfortunate for the Golden State Warriors. The box score goes 8 points by Draymond. Kuminga dropped 20. Curry dropped 19. That's probably why they lost. Buddy Hield dropped 15. Nothing from the bench, really. And then for the Houston, you had Jabari Smith Jr. drop 15. Sengun dropped 26 and 11. You had 12 from Jalen Green. You had Amen Thompson with 10 and 6. Tari Eason went 9 and 7. And yeah, 22% from 3 to 31 to 32% from 3. One shot 46% from the field. The other one shot 44% from the field. Absolutely abysmal shooting game for both teams. Very defensive oriented. And the Rockets just made more plays. So our semifinals are Bucks-Hawks, which I got the Bucks. And then Thunder-Rockets, which I got the Thunder. Bucks versus Thunder, the 2 number 1 seeds is what I got for the championship. Those games happen 12-14 tomorrow. No, 2 days from now, Saturday. OKC has a 5.5 point spread, and Milwaukee has a 3.5 point spread. As for the standings right now, we got Cleveland over Boston by 1.5. Orlando third at 5 games back already, so it's already looking like it's separated in the East. Just behind them, 1 game back is the Knicks. Miami, with the rumors that we are shopping Jimmy Butler, he painted he dyed his hair yellow, maybe for Golden State or something like that. Who knows? Pacers, who else is yellow? The Lakers. Golden State, the Lakers, and Utah. And maybe Denver. Those are the yellow teams. So if there's a hint there, who knows? But nonetheless, Miami's 5th, 7.5 games back. Milwaukee 6th, 7.5 games back. Atlanta 7.5 games back in 7. Brooklyn still hanging on at 10.5 back in 8th. Indiana's 11 back at 9. Chicago's at 11 back at 10. Then Detroit's 11 back at 11. Philly is 12.5 back. Charlotte 13.5 back. Toronto 14. Washington 16.5. So there's already separation between number 1 and number 3. So it's probably just going to be Cleveland and Boston for the rest of the year at the 1-2. You have competition between 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. And then you got 8, 9, 10, 11, and probably put 12 and 13 in there all the way to Charlotte that can fight for those playing spots in the East. In the West, a lot closer. You have OKC, Houston at 2.5 games back, Memphis at 2.5 games back in the third spot. Dallas at 3.5 games back. Golden State at 5 games back. Clippers at 5.5. Denver at 6. At 6 games back in 7th spot. Lakers at 6 games back in the 8th spot. Minnesota at 6.5 in the 9th spot. And Phoenix 6.5 back in the 10th spot, with San Antonio just a half game back of them in the 11th spot at 7 games back. Sac at 7.5 games back. Portland then 11, Utah 13.5, and New Orleans at 14.5. They're kind of out of it already. But from 1 to 12, I mean, it could change quick. Somebody gets on a run. But it's crazy. OKC's doing really well. So is the Rockets. They're playing their asses off. And in the last 10 games, Memphis is 9-1, of course, because Ja is playing. If we look at the stats right now, Giannis is at 33 points a game. Jokic is at 32.3 points a game. LaMelo's at 31.1. SGA already got past the 30-point barrier in average. And then Jason Tatum at 28.2. Told you he couldn't keep the 30-point a game streak going. Edwards is at 26 and 4.4. Lillard is at 26 a game. Jaylen Brown's at 25 a game. Brunson's at 25 a game. Doncic's at 28 a game. Got to get to 30. Edwards being at 26 a game, I don't like it. I thought he was really going to push for 28, 29, 30. We'll see if he can change it, but once you start getting an average that plateaus, and you can't do much to it unless you do some crazy stuff. So that's for points. Assist, you have Trae Young at 12.2 a game. Nikola Jokic at 10.2. Cade is at 9.4, so he's brought it up. LeBron at 9.1. Chris Paul at 8.5. He became the second ever assist, the second all-time in assist behind John Stockton about 2 games ago. LaMelo's at 4.7, basically five threes a game made. Anthony Edwards at 5 threes a game made, 4.5. Tyler Hero's at 4.2. Steph Curry's at 4.1. Brandon Miller is at 4. So LaMelo and Brandon Miller both in the top 5 of threes made a game. Rebounds, Nikola Jokic at 14 a game. Karl Anthony Towns at 14 a game. Sabonis is at 13 a game. Zubac's at 12 a game. Pirtle is at 12 a game. Blocks, Victor's at 3.4. Walker Kessler's at 3. Klingon is at 2.2. Brook Lopez at 2.1. Miles Turner's at 2. And then steals, Dyson Daniels 3. Luka Doncic at 2.1. Jalen Williams at 2. Tyrese Maxey at 2. And Tari Eason at 2. Games today, we have Pistons Celtics just tipped off 13-12 in Boston. Raptors Heat it's 6 minutes in, 18-9. Raptors winning in Miami. And then Kings Pelicans at 8. I expect the Kings to win that game rather comfortably. Guys, that was episode 160 of the Exec Talk Podcast with your host, El Velez. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my socials, and I'll leave you all with the outro.